Minutes. Oof. Okay, three things. We want a secure Rhode Island, we want an efficient and competitive Rhode Island, and we want a united Rhode Island. That's it. Thank you. In all sincerity, our overall objective is a secure, efficient, competitive, and united Rhode Island. I think we're on our way toward that, and it's important to say thank you to the Speaker and the Senate President for the work that they've done in the past, and Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and Secretary of State. We certainly welcome you. I think the Speaker knows most directly, and the Senate President, that we're here now. We'll be with you as the session goes along. And in fact, there could be a reason that we'll be with you at the very last minute of the session, as we were this last year. Thank you for allowing us to participate. We appreciate that opportunity. We want to make our state, as you said, Mr. Speaker, we don't want it to be an outlier. We want it to be a state where we rid ourselves of the non-value-added rules and regulations that put us in that outlier position. And further, we want our state to be one where there's a concerted effort to avoid creation of future outlying positions through new law, practice, or regulation. So, and you know, while some of the stuff that we'll talk about, and I got to go quickly, is that we'll talk about specifics that will need legislation, but there's so much of it that can really just happen with attitude. And thank you for saying we need to be positive. We do need that. But we also need a positive attitude in terms of what to expect from our state agencies. We need action. We're proud of the circumstance that the electronic building permit system will be active in the third quarter of this year. As was stated earlier by the Senate President, 5 years ago we started talking about that. That's too long. And we need to carry that program on once it's completed in all 39 cities and towns. And as it's going through, we need to find a way to expand it to include every license that needs to be renewed can be done online. Hopefully the Secretary of State's office will be able to help us manage that. So, there are so many things in efficiency. One of the united part, what do we mean by that? Too many of our rules in the state of Rhode Island have been used to divide us. They've been separating us. We learned that in our discussion about tech education, and I wanted that to be changed in terms of moniker and have it be called applied learning, because it's a whole new line of thinking that we need to get into in our training circumstance. But some of that seems to emanate, much of it seems to come from the approach at DLT. We need DLT to be, the Department of Labor and Training, to be an advocate for business opportunity, not a penalizer of it. And so we need to simplify apprenticeship programs, make them a facet of business encouragement, not a basis for business punishment. We need to stop the use of project labor agreements, which are a huge barrier to the small business community and the minority business community in particular. We need to increase the threshold for imposition of prevailing wage requirements. All of those things increase our costs, reduce our competition opportunity. And so many of them, we're not sure that they require legislation. It's, like prior director of DLT, Charlie Fogarty, solved our boiler inspection issue overnight. It didn't require long conversations. The data was there to say, do it, and it got done. We need to allow self-certification of minority businesses like is available to those folks in the national circumstance and in many state government circumstances. The efficient Rhode Island, we need to support ORR. It hasn't had a leader for a year. And that can't keep going. We need to accomplish process mapping that they advocate for. And so much of this, what we heard in our committee meeting today, is that it all goes to the system. We need to change the system and do that by requiring lean process management to be implemented in all departments by February of 2016, but especially DLT, DCYF, DOH, DHS, and actually I'm forgetting a couple, to accomplish maximum customer value and service while minimizing waste. We need to change some of the other drivers in the public sector, the public employment sector. We need to modernize our collective bargaining statutes to reduce the scope of collective bargaining. And we need to limit the authority of arbitrators in public employee contracts to allow the leadership in government and in state agencies to actually lead and get something done and not be challenged by some of these backward rules. Finally, because I'm out of time, I could probably go on for another hour, as the folks in the session know, but we need a secure Rhode Island. And with that, we can point to one thing that, and Governor, as you said in your inaugural speech, there are a lot of things that we need to do, but jobs in the economy, you're right, if we don't do that, nothing else matters. Well, at the head of that line, energy supply. So many of these things, if you look at what energy has done for our country in the last 100 years, we have nothing if we have inadequate energy supplies. We're not trying to advocate for one or the other. It's simply that our businesses need to be encouraged to stay here and not like some of the reshoring of business that moved away that's coming back because of cheap energy in other parts of the country. We need to make sure that our businesses stay here and be encouraged to grow. And finally, that brings us to the circumstance. It is an overall investment in infrastructure, as Professor Ladaro said this morning. Isn't it great that we can come to a facility like this at Bryant that exists and is so well cared for? It gives us this opportunity to talk and to express ourselves in a comfortable environment. That's infrastructure. The college has done it. The university has done it. We need to do it as a state to make sure that our utilities are secure and that our business opportunity follows from that. Thank you for listening.